Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I really wanted to talk to you about my chickens and how I keep chickens during the Canadian winter without any heat. So I think it's a bit of a misconception that when you have chickens in a cold winter that you need to have a heat source for them, and that's just untrue. Chickens tend to run at a higher heat than people do, and they actually do worse in the summer than they do in the winter. I'm going to show you my setup and we'll discuss exactly why my chickens don't need any heat during the Canadian winter. Okay, so here is the outside of my setup. So this was a pergola that was on the property when we first got here. And when we decided to get chickens, we decided just to fence it in and add our little chicken coop to the back of it so that they'd have more of a run. So we initially had a local handyman make this for us, which has turned out really nice, but it's not much of a run, right? So that's why we added on the pergola as well, and eventually we brought our rabbits out there too. So we've got our nesting box here. You can see we've got, oh hello. We've got lots of eggs I still need to collect. But this typically in the night is where they hang out. This, not in the nesting boxes, but in this little box up here. So this is where the chickens come at night to sleep, which is just a tiny little spot where they can roost up top. And all of their heat, because they do run at a higher heat than people, all of their heat is kept up in that little box and it keeps them warm. Hi. Can I come in? So I've dropped our food scraps off here this morning already. Excuse me. Oops. So this is their little run. I've got to come back here and bring some straw back, but this is what they've got right now. During the summer, when we had the rabbits, I found that they were roosting on top of one of our rabbit cages. So we put in this roosting bar here and we covered it with plastic and such so they wouldn't get rained on. But this is where they roost in the summer because it's nicely ventilated and they can stay cool, right? But in the winter, when they come in here, here we go. That's their little home. They've got a roosting bar up there. I just can't get an angle at it. Hi, babe. So they stay nice and cozy. When we first got our chickens, I was worried that they were going to be cold. So we had actually got in 30 straw bales and I packed it all around their box here and to insulate them, and it kept them warm. But the following winter I decided they didn't need it, and they don't. They are perfectly healthy chickens. They still enjoy, they need the fresh air, so that's why that is kept open. And it ventilates them really well, but they stay perfectly warm in the winter. So no heat lamp is necessary. So I know it's a big deterrent to some people, especially in the northern hemisphere, to get chickens because they're worried about the cost of having an electric heater in their coop. But it's not needed. And also when you're worried that it might burn things down, right? Like a lot of people have had their chicken runs burned down because of these heaters that they keep. But the chickens, because they are warm birds, they do fine. I have had them in minus 30 degree weather, and as long as they have shelter away from wind, which in the space where we are, even that little door for ventilation is away from the wind because of the rabbit kennels, they thrive in this weather. They do not need a heater. Even if you think that they might need a lamp, I find the chickens that are inside, they're the ones that need lamps. My chickens still do really well. They are young, these ones, so once they get older, yeah, they're going to molt more in the winter. But right now, I still can't keep up with my eggs. They have laid all winter. So I have all my water glassed eggs that I haven't even touched yet because we just have so many eggs. So don't think that you need a heater or a heat lamp to keep chickens. These birdies do just fine in our cold climate without those things. Have them in an outside run. Make sure that they're getting natural light and have a dry and wind-free space for them to sleep, and they'll thrive. So another misconception about keeping chickens is the cost of feed. So we spend $15 every 2 weeks or so in order to feed our 9 chickens. We feed them a lot of scraps. I have 2 young kiddos, so typically we have dinners that are left over, snack plates that are left over, produce that is starting to just, not be as perky in the fridge. It gets tossed in here. And these guys get a varied and healthy diet as well as their typical kibble. And it's really not a lot considering the amount of eggs that they give us. So keeping chickens really is not that expensive. If you can build yourself a run out of scrap wood, typically that's exactly what we did. We used the space that was already here, and the majority of it is scrap wood. And we have a little hen here that's nesting in one of our old rabbit nesting boxes. Anyways, the price of keeping chickens really is not that much compared to what you get. You get that self-sufficiency, self-sustainability, the knowing that you are going to have eggs and you're not going to have to worry about the prices at the grocery store. And they're awesome. Chickens are just awesome to have anyways. But you can have the healthiest eggs. The healthiest eggs for really not that much. Once a year, I do buy straw. I spend about $30 on it, and that way I can keep straw in their run normally. But yeah, the one thing that we do heat in our chicken coop, though, is their water. So this bucket right here is a heated waterer. So this way I'm not consistently having to come out here and break their water. And so that does add a little bit to the electricity, but it's really not that much. But yeah, so a heated water is the only kind of heated object that I add to the chickens during the winter. Hello. So I hope this clears up some misconceptions about having chickens and the expense that they cost, and the fact that you really don't need to heat their run. If you have a nice windless, dry spot for them to roost, then they're going to be happy. And you can build their coop. You don't need to wait for the perfect coop or for the perfect heated situation. You just can build something out of scraps and give them a nice place to run, and they're going to be happy. And you're going to get some beautiful eggs out of the deal. Well, I hope you guys are doing good. That's it for me for now, and I'll see you guys next time.